crypto where the price isn't set by some trader on an exchange, but by the millions of people who actually use it. Sounds kind of crazy, right? Well, that is the huge goal of the Pi network. And today, we're going to break down exactly how they're planning to build an economy where the power is actually in your hands. So, think about it for a second. Who actually decides the price of your crypto? Usually, it's this whole complicated mess of traders, market makers, giant exchanges, you know the deal. But the Pi network is asking a pretty radical question. What if we just got rid of all the middlemen? What if we gave that power straight to the community? And that's the big reveal right there. On pretty much every other network, it's the exchanges calling the shots. But on Pi network, it's about to be you. This isn't just a small change. It's a total flip of the script. The value is decided from the inside by the people who actually make the network what it is. And that means you. All right, so let's dive in. A price set by you, the decentralized revolution. And honestly, it's not just a fancy name. We're not talking about a little tweak here or there. This is a complete flip of the power structure. Let's get into how this whole user-driven thing is supposed to work. Just picture this for a moment. A market where it's the users, they call them pioneers, who have total 100% control over what their money is worth. We're not just talking about deciding what to buy with it. No, we're talking about deciding its actual fundamental value. It's all about collective power, and it's literally hardwired into the system. And yet, when we say total control, we mean it, 100%. This isn't some little bit of influence or a PR stunt. The whole idea, the entire philosophy, is that the everyday users, the pioneers, get to have the final say. They're the ones who are supposed to determine the value of Pi and what you can actually do with it. Okay, so you're probably wondering, how in the world does this actually work? Well, it's not magic. It's all about the tech. Think of this as your value creation toolkit. These are the tools the network gives you to make it all happen. Let's break them down. First up, we've got staking. Now, you've probably heard of staking before, right? Usually, it's just a way to earn some extra rewards. But here, it's totally different. Think of it like this. When you stake your Pi, you're actually casting a vote. You're saying, hey, I think this is a fair price. It's a way for you to directly help set the value. Okay, so individual votes are great, but what happens when you have millions of people all voting for slightly different prices? How do you get one stable number? That's where liquidity pools come in. These are basically big pots of money funded by the community. They take all those individual votes and kind of mush them together to create a strong, stable consensus price. It's what turns all that individual opinion into one solid price we can all agree on. And the thing that makes all this magic happen under the hood? That's Protocol 20. This is the real game changer. It's a huge technical upgrade that finally brings smart contracts to the Pi network. You can think of it as the engine, or maybe the digital rulebook that lets this whole decentralized market run all by itself, securely, automatically, and with nobody in charge. So, let's quickly recap how this value gets created. Step 1. You stake your Pi to suggest a price you think is fair. Step 2. The whole community's votes come together to form a consensus price. Step 3. Those liquidity pools jump in to lock that price in and make it stable. And finally, step 4, Protocol 20 makes it all official, executing everything on the blockchain. See? Simple. It's a value that's built from the ground up. All right, next up, a bridge to global finance. Because let's be real, a cool digital economy is one thing, but for it to actually matter in the real world, it needs to connect to, well, the rest of the world's money. And this is where things get really interesting, because Pi is building some serious bridges. So they're building 3 key bridges to make this thing real. First, you've got Chainlink. Think of Chainlink as a trusted messenger, an oracle, that takes the price the pioneers set and shouts it out to the entire crypto world. Then there's a bridge to the old-school banking world through a platform like Kraken. This is huge because it creates a direct link to regular money. And finally, the legal piece, getting classified as a digital commodity. This is super important for getting the green light from regulators. And that term, digital commodity, is actually a really big deal. Let me break it down. A stock gets its value from speculation, right? People are betting on a company's future. But a commodity, its value comes from its actual usefulness. For Pi, this means its value is supposed to come from its real-world utility, from people actually using it. The price is set by real supply and demand from users, not by traders just guessing. In this world, you create the value by what you do. And hey, this isn't just theory. We're already seeing proof of this in the real world. Check this out. Pi is already being recognized and listed as a tradable digital commodity in Europe. Right here, you can see it listed against the Swedish krona. Now, this is a huge step. It shows that regulators are starting to get it, to understand this new model where value comes from actual use. Okay, so for our final section, a word to the pioneers. With all this tech falling into place and these financial bridges being built, what does this actually mean for you, the person holding Pi right now? Well, there's a very clear piece of advice that keeps coming up. And the advice is simple but powerful. Do not rush to sell. Wait. Wait for this entire decentralized market to be fully up and running before you make any moves. Why? Because the real power you have as a pioneer only works when everyone acts together inside this new system. If you sell early, you're basically giving away the very power the network was designed to give you. The idea here is that your patience will absolutely be rewarded. So here we are. The tools are ready. The bridges are being built. The entire system is designed to put the power right where it belongs, in your hands. So the big question, the one this whole experiment is about, is this. What value will you create? The future of Pi is, quite literally, up to you.